Okay, this is a recording, Sammy Hagar, in an interview from 1981 out of the UK.
Well, to start with, I think that Janis Joplin was probably the best female vocalist as far as singing the style of singing that I like, which is screaming and putting all your heart into it and everything, and being part of that generation. Basically, when I was growing up, that was what was happening, was to go to San Francisco, and of course Big Brother and Holding Company were a big group, and I was impressed with her when I saw her sing live, and so I decided to do one of her songs, and Piece of My Heart was the one that lent itself to my style. Somebody came up to me the other day and asked me if I still had my Explorer, and I had to say, of course, because I'll never get rid of that guitar. As long as I play the kind of music I play, it's the best sounding guitar I own. It just sounds better than all the rest. And when I did the album, I used that throughout the whole album. And then I used this one other guitar that has a little bit of cleaner, high-end, little brighter sound, and it's a Roland synthesizer guitar. And I didn't use a synthesizer part. I just used the regular guitar. And it sounds pretty good. So it was an ugly old natural wood thing, so I'd never use it on stage. So I liked the sound of it, so I went and had it painted red, and I'll be using that too. And I don't pay attention to guitars. They don't mean anything to me. I take an old guitar, a new guitar, a Strat, a Fender, Gibson. I don't care what it is, as long as it feels good and sounds good to me. So Gary, he's got some weird guitars. He likes to have special ones made and stuff. He's real picky about his guitars, but I actually think that he's full of shit. When I started recording this album, I originally wanted to put a couple different songs for an English version, and I wanted to have an American version, I wanted to have a French version, a German version. I wanted to record about 20 songs, and each country put at least one different song on each album. I pooped out. I said, man, I want to get out of the studio and get out there on the road. So I only ended up with 13, but we never ended up putting a different song on the English album. So the English album is exactly like the American album. And so what? It's great, so I don't care. Just as long as I'm satisfied with every song on there. And I must admit, as far as Standing Hampton goes, there's not one song on there that I didn't feel real strong about, and that's pretty rare. I can't ever remember that happening except on the first Montrose album. I really felt like every song on that album, you know, we had a lot of fire and a lot of heart into it, and I really feel that this album is the same way to me. Can't Get Loose is more the serious side, I guess, kind of philosophical, or I don't know. I like Can't Get Loose as far as the production and everything goes. I think it's one of the bigger production tunes on the album, and it'll be wonderful live because it'll give me a chance to really sing with some big holes in the music and do a big production. My first influences were really black guys, I guess, and I know everyone said that. I heard Paul Rodgers say it, I've heard Rod Stewart say it, the Rolling Stones say it, everyone says it, but it seems like when a musician's first learning how to play, you go through so many different stages. So I went through the blues stage, and I went through the R&B stage, then I went through the rock and roll stage, and I guess Led Zeppelin and Cream, Jimi Hendrix, and people like that really influenced me. I'm so easily influenced. I get in the car and turn on the radio and I hear a song and I go, oh, gee, who's that? And sometimes I'll sit in the car for 20 minutes. In America, they play about half an hour, 45 minutes of music, and then they talk for a half hour, 45 minutes. So not all the stations, I guess I shouldn't say they all do that. But anyway, a lot of them do it. And sometimes you have to wait a long time. So I'll sit in the car and wait until I hear who it was, and usually go out and buy the album and check it out. And half the time it's garbage and half the time it's good, and a quarter of the time it's garbage, a quarter of the time it's good, and half the time it's the only good song on the album. So anyway, and I'm influenced by that stuff. I can't help it. You know, you hear the way a guy sings, the way a guy plays guitar, or the way an album sounds, the way it's produced. You just get influenced. You can't help it.
Okay, that was part one.